What's up, guys? So we got a question from Liz, who's been training for about 6 months. She loves training. She loves the environment of her gym, her coaches. Everything on that end is amazing. But her family is super unsupportive of what she's doing. She says that, she's a college graduate. She's working all the time. She's doing that stuff, right? Doing all the normal stuff to be a functioning member of society. But she decided to get into this wrestling thing. And now her family's kind of like, why are you doing this? This seems so strange. We don't like it. And she says it always gets brought up, when they're at family functions and things like that. And it's something that bothers her because she values their opinion a ton. And so she's wondering if I have any, advice or perspectives or sort of ideas to share on the situation. So Liz, thank you for the question. And when I was reading your question, I was thinking about the dynamic that existed with my mom and I, because my mom, she supported me in everything that I did, no matter what, right? But she didn't always support the decisions I made, meaning she supported me and she says, listen, I got your back no matter what crazy stuff you decide to get into, but why do you got to do that? Why do you got to fight these people? Because the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, she didn't like that. And when I started doing MMA, she was like, why are you doing this? She would say this to me over and over again with stuff I did. Why are you doing this? And I remember my very first MMA fight. Well, that's a good example, right? I came home and I had the VHS tape of the fight. And I was like, hey, Mom, come check out this thing. It's almost like you're getting ready to show someone the good work you've done, right? I was very proud of it. I'd gotten myself into really good shape. I went out and did something that was scary to me, and I dreamt about doing it. I finally did it. I pop in that tape. I'm like, hey, Mom, check this out. During the fight, I take the guy down, I punch him, and I put him in a choke. It was like 40 seconds long. And then as soon as I hit that guy, she hit me. She smacked me on the shoulder. She's like, why are you so mean? I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm not mean. It's a competition. She's like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? You're so mean. She starts hitting me, and she just didn't get it. But again, she always supported me in everything that I did, and she understood because it wasn't something that was going away. I kept training for years and years and years. And so it was one of those things where she didn't like it, but she respected the fact that I loved it for some reason, right? So again, she saw that it wasn't going away. I'd been doing it for years, and she's like, okay, well, that's just what Nick does, right? I got your back, Nick. I wish you would do something else, but I love you and I respect your decision to do that thing. And then I remember another example, and then I'll sort of share what I was thinking for you, Liz. Another example was when I decided to do this stuff full time. Again, I had a nice job. I was making decent money. And I remember, I decided that I'm going to do this stuff full time and make almost no money. I came up to my mom one night and I was like, hey, Mom. And I told her what I was getting ready to do. And again, just turned, why do you want to do that? You got this good job. I got your back. Okay, well, no problem. You can do this at whatever. I'll help you out. I'll support you. And by support, meaning I gave me a place to crash. But why do you want to do that? She just couldn't wrap her head around it. And I remember in 2011, about a year later, she was getting sick. And for you guys that have watched the channel, that she passed away in 2011. Before she died, I wanted her to see what was going on. I wasn't where I wanted to be with, monetarily or anything like that, but the gym was growing and it was pretty impressive even for its time. And I was like, Mom, I want you to see this place. So we brought her up here and we wheeled her around a little bit because she wasn't walking too much at that point. And I just showed her around the gym and just to see, with my ex-girlfriend brought her up and we showed her around the gym. And I remember her looking around and just looking at the walls and looking at the place, how big it was. And she had respect for it. She's like, wow, look at this place. Man, this is a big place. And again, it was one of those things where at that moment, she didn't like that I had given up my job. She didn't like the fact that I was doing that stuff, but she respected it because she could see it was real. And, I think in my mom's case, she didn't want me to do some of the things that I did because, as a parent, you probably want to protect your kids, right? I'm not a parent, so I don't understand, but I imagine from talking to parents, you want to protect your kid from everything as much as possible, right? So I think my mom, she didn't want me to wrestle. She didn't want me to do jiu-jitsu. She didn't want me to do fighting because she didn't want me to get hurt. She didn't want anything bad to happen to her little boy. But at the same time, she was at least smart enough to be like, I'm not going to try to take you away from the things that you wanted to do. So she's like, well, you go do them. I don't like them, but I'll support you, right? But over time, she never liked them, but she would support them and be respectful of them because she realized that they were real. It was something that I was really into. It was something that was not going away. And so Liz, in your situation, I think it's probably a very similar situation. Your family probably doesn't hate you, right? They don't dislike you. They're not going to disown you. They probably just are worried about your safety, right? They think this crazy martial art thing you've gotten into, oh my God, what's wrong with you, right? It seems crazy, especially because again, like you said, you're a college graduate. You got a good job. You're doing all these other things. You got this nice little box that you've been put into. And for some reason, you have this urge to go do this thing. And again, I don't know about you, but for a long time when I was training, I couldn't always put my finger on why I was training, right? I knew there was the superficial reasons of fighting, competing, all that stuff, but there was something deep down in me that I couldn't, until I got older and sort of realized what it was, I couldn't put my finger on why I was going in every single day and why I loved it so much. And I think that there might be some sort of inner satisfaction that you get from training that you maybe can't quite put your finger on yet, right? And it's hard to explain to people, right? They're like, why do you do this? And you're like, I can't exactly tell you why. It's just something that feels good and I want to do it again. And so what I think will probably happen is that as you continue to train, your family, while they may not enjoy it, right? They may not enjoy you doing that stuff, they will probably come to respect it, because they'll say, you know what, this is something that Liz is really doing. It's legitimate. Like, she really wants to do this. It's real, right? Because a lot of people talk, you know, they talk a lot about what they're going to do and they get into stuff. It's just a fling. But if you keep training for years to come, they're going to realize, oh, it's not just going away. And a lot of times I see that people begin to respect that, right? Because they realize it's real. And it might become something where, I don't know about, like, you know, in my situation where I go to family functions, my family are always like, oh, hey, it's the tough guy, it's Chewy, he's the wrestler, he's the fighter, all that stuff. So it might be that kind of thing where you're going around during your family functions and all of a sudden it's like, hey, it's Aunt Liz, be careful, like, talk to your little cousins, she's going to, like, put you in one of those jiu-jitsu moves or something. So I imagine it'll be a good situation. Like, your family doesn't hate you, they probably just want what they think is best for you, and they just want to keep you safe, and it just seems something that's kind of out of the little box of what they're used to. So, but ultimately, you got to live your life. So I would say keep training, and I think over time they'll come to respect it. And hopefully this video is helpful to you, Liz. And thank you so much for the question.